The former Botswana president, Khama Rubishes Suluhu, calls her illegitimate. We are just in the last show, we were talking about the International Criminal Court officials that have been denied entry into Tanzania. After they'd already arrived at Julius Nyerere Airport in Tanzania, they were put in the next flight to The Hague, and they were denied entry. Experts, forensic experts, and investigators. And I was saying that this is just a sign that shows that the woman has a lot to hide. It shows how guilty herself and her regime are in terms of the allegations that are laid by the world against them. And this actually is an indicator that somebody is clumsy. That's being clumsy, because you don't come out and announce that nobody died, nobody was killed, there was not even an injury, and then that's what you tell the world, and then yet you deny investigators entry. If you know that your hands are clean, why would you do that? And Ian Khama has spoken out. Remember, this was the only man who was a lone wolf the other time at one point, where Africa was refusing to condemn Robert Mugabe. Southern Africa was refusing to condemn Robert Mugabe while he was doing so much atrocities in Zimbabwe. But Ian Khama remained a man of principle, and he condemned Mugabe alone, and everyone else could not do that. So Ian Khama really remains a respectable politician and statesman. These are the people that the caliber of leaders that we need. People that are able to stand for the truth, to say things as they are. Because definitely what we are looking at right now is quite a lot of cowardice on the part of most of these African presidents. Because, well, some might think that because I did not congratulate Samia, automatically means that I have not done or I have not endorsed her. That's it. That's not it. We want to hear what you have to say. We don't want to hear, we don't want to just see silence. We want to hear them speak. We want the presidents of Angola individually, the president of Malawi, president of Botswana, whatever it is, speaking individually on their own, on behalf of themselves and their nations, condemning what has happened in Tanzania, like what we are seeing right now happening. So it's quite funny. You remember last time we were talking about the issue yeSADC. Kuti SADC yakadhakwa. Nokuti SADC haikwanisi kuti inotumira ma-investigators ayo oenda kunoinvestigata. Vobuda nereport iri kutaridza kuti there was nonsense and chaos yakaitika mu-election yekutanzania. Ivo maheads vonoita meeting yavo, and then they start by congratulating Samia. What is that? Surely, what is that? You see? So ndizvo zvinoramba zvichidzosera sure sema-Africans izvozvo. Ndosaka tichizomokiwa because we can't even keep our rules on our own. Things that we agree as a group, we write down. But when something of that nature happens, which we have put agreement in black and white, when it happens, we can't even look each other in the eye and tell each other the truth. Because this is what we agreed, guys. If a member state does this is the action. Simply open the book and act according to the agreement. But they are so fearful of each other, so fearful of telling each other the truth about what is happening, to the point that they start to pretend as if they don't know, or they don't have a report coming from their own observer mission. This is pathetic and very embarrassing for Africa. So Ian Khama, really, we respect him, and we say kudos to him for being one of the African leaders who has decided to come out and speak categorically without mincing any word.
I, for one, do not recognize the person who was inaugurated as the president of Tanzania. She is an illegitimate president. The Africa we dream of, peaceful, prosperous, and respected, will only emerge when our governance is guided by our values and not by our interests. Turning to recent examples, it is totally unacceptable. It is totally unacceptable when an Africa leader, in order to stay in power, will resort to killing his or her own people. In order to stay in power, will rig an election as if they are God's gift to their country. When you have a country with millions of people, for any leader to think they are the only ones who can be president is pathetic. And therefore, and my apology to those who may come from Tanzania, but I'm mentioning this because they are your neighbor, that the recent election and what transpired, the killings around that election, I, for one, do not recognize the person who was inaugurated as the president of Tanzania.
Right. So these are the kind of leaders we are talking about that are, very, very scarce in Africa. They are scarce. The breed or the species of Ian Khama really are not many in our midst. And this is exactly what we are talking about. It's quite very, very unfortunate and sad that Africa is failing to produce leaders, political leaders of integrity. Especially when we see women rising. Women have always, stood up for women involvement, women inclusion, women rights, and so on and so forth, that let women also take leadership positions, hoping that women will be motherly. But if we see women who are beginning to enter into politics and rising into the ranks of politics, then they turn out like Samia. I think it is regrettable on the part of women. This is, a backstab on the women movement that are standing up for women to rise in politics. If our mothers are going to be like this, then we have a big problem. And this is an issue that just needs to be said as it is, without mincing words. We don't have to select words, to express what has happened in Tanzania. We simply have to say things just as they are. So really, we salute Ian Khama for statements like this, and we wish to hear more and more politicians. We want to hear opposition politicians also coming out and condemning, those that are in power also coming out and condemning, so that at least we set a moral compass of reminding our people what exactly is expected. What is expected must continue to be reminded to our people over and over and over again, so that those other will be offenders will learn from such people like Samia. This is really very unfortunate, and we need to be looking into this and seeing how far things are going to get to. Okay, Anzan, Mama Christine Anzi, but why is Zimbabwe not being challenged? Don't they see what Mnangagwa is doing again and again? Why don't they wait until more people are massacred to say something? Yes, it's unfortunate that, such pressure was supposed to be put in 2023. I know so. When things are not done, because as you know, it looks like it's really normal in Zimbabwe. The world until maybe when we see vatanga kumuva in parliament about amending the constitution. I'm sure something is wrong there, because we can't really be challenging them. It's more like an internal issue. But once they start to push that in parliament, then the noises can be made, and we could hear progressives of the world beginning to talk about it. Sister Esan Samia has caused untold pain to citizens. What kind of a woman is this? Thank you, Mr. Khama, for speaking against injustice. Yes, definitely. We really thank leaders like him. And the truth, only the truth shall set us free. Amen. Amen. It's only the truth that has to be said. As the action shows you are guilty, and the moyo wakashata. Ndo chokwadi chochocho. Ndo chokwadi kuchka. Anzi mkazi uyo akazonyanya 98% ichabata vamwe. Right. That's the problem. I don't know why she didn't just give herself even 60%. You think really there was anybody who was going to challenge or to doubt if she had given herself 60? So you can see, Kuti, some of these things ndo benzi unenge uchiitwa nevamwe vanhu vanenge vachida power at all costs. This is the kind of character yatiri kuona iri muzviganana. Hanzi President Chamisa vakatirambidza, hanzi vakatirambidza taitova ready president vakati God is in it. Okay, right. Hanzi Mnangagwa was protected by South Africa. Yes, and they still protect him anyway. Hanzi Mwari tumirai mashu dziya nezvirize zviya. Aiwa zvinouya tinozviziva zvirize nemhashu zvinofamba kana nguva yaJehovha yasvika. So we are looking at progressive leaders and leaders that have the people at heart, who stand for the rights of the people. And these are the leaders that Africa needs. And we are still believing God for such kind of leaders coming from our people. There are many people, like what Ian Khama said, there are many people who can lead in Africa. Kana wangona ukamkana kekuti watonga, never want to deceive yourself and think that you are the alpha and omega of running a country. Anyone can run a country. I've always said that being president of a country does not even need you to be a professor or a doctor or whatever. It just needs someone with common sense. So when common sense chete, right? And then you have the right team. Then you are just there using your common sense to guide your team. Inenge chirana, inenge inema professionals, iwayo, and so on and so forth. Otherwise, running a country is very easy. Kana vana Mnangagwa vafika kuti nyika inonetsa kurana, ngavandipe inini ndirane nyika ivaione zvainoita. Tinoswera takunzwa mutakunanzva. Hapana chinoshamisira pakurada nyika. Saka vasaswera vachikanyaira semakonye vachifungidzira kuti zvinoshamisira. There's nothing that is so extraordinary about just leading people. It's all about asking people, what should we do? What do you want? And do the right thing and just use the resources of that country perfectly and with transparency. Munongoona nyika inozvimirira yega. Zvinhu zvinongofamba zvega, especially a country that is rich like Zimbabwe and a country that is hard workers, hard-working people, people that are self-starters like Zimbabwe. Haitombonetsi kuranika nyika iyoyo. But unfortunately, what we don't have are leaders. We have got mafia, thieves, robbers and murderers that have guns, vari kupretenda to be political leaders. But zvichapera hazvo kumagumo kune nyaya. Hatirambe takatarisa. Tinoziva kuti patakunosvika uko kuchapfuta moto. Fire is going to burn and a lot are going to be consumed. Let's meet in the upcoming show. Bless you.